So, depending on when you actually started and if you like spent a lot of time re-rolling, today is probably the day that you got a free copy of Woo Jinchul. I think that's how you pronounce it. And I wanted to make this video because a lot of you will be here, maybe you'll be here tomorrow, or if you started later in the next few days, and you'll want to know whether you should build him. Now, I'm just going to call him Woo. Now, Woo isn't very good. I think he's probably the worst SSR in the game. However, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't necessarily build him. I think especially since in another 7 days, you will be getting his signature weapon. That will be like a big power spike. If we go on to Hunters, I actually already had a copy, so that was my A1, I think we call it in this game, Advancement 1. And the thing that I'm really looking at here is that he is the wind ability. Now, my goal when looking at Hunters is the early game where we don't really have the resources to build everyone. But I'm thinking late game when more and more units come out, when more and more content comes out, there will probably be a reason to have every SSR built, as long as you, like, until you have like 3 of each type. So that going into a battle where they are weak against wind, that you can just like absolutely destroy it without any problem. Whether you should build them or not, I think you really have to look at your account on its own and not really listen to what other people say. Do you have another wind character that you prefer? Do you maybe have other characters that you want to build instead? Because for my instance, I've got a Char, I've got a Emma, and I've got a Seojiru, who I want to build more than Woo. So I've got an ultra-wide monitor, so just, sorry for clipping off the end a bit, but if we go to pridewin.gg, one of my favorite sites for pretty much any gacha game, you can see that Woo Jinchul, sorry if I'm pronouncing his name wrong, I'm not good at foreign names. He is the worst SSR, even being beaten by other wind units in a 4-star wind unit. Now, I think that if you have Huang Dongso and you really like him, then probably build him instead of Woo. And if you have a Park, then I'd say it would depend on a few things. Do you have a few copies of the Ancient Grimoire? Do you have a few copies of her? Keep in mind that you'll get another copy of Woo. You'll get his signature weapon. If you're like me and you already have a copy of Woo, then you've got to say like, alright, this is A1 Woo against like... A1 Woo with his signature weapon against Park. So there's a lot of things to consider. Obviously, as you can see, the highest wind is in S tier, which is a shame. Wind isn't really, like, I don't know what it is, but we don't have very good wind characters. Another thing I do want to say about Woo is that he scales with defense, which means, like, that might not be, like, a huge thing for some people, but for me especially, when I end up grinding artifacts, it means that if I'm looking for good artifact pieces, if they roll into defense, normally it's like, alright, I've got to throw it away. But if I am using him, I can just give them to him. So it does give a bit more leeway when grinding artifacts. Another thing to consider is he's a tank. So if you are using Emma, if you're using Seojiru, obviously you might have a lot of other tanks on your account and not really need them. I don't really know what the best ratio is, whether people say bring 1 tank and like a mage and a healer, or like maybe 2 tanks and an attacker. I don't really know if there's like a meta, but just obviously if you've already got 2 tanks, you might not want to build a 3rd one. Also, look at your resources. If you're at the beginning of the game and you don't have a lot of resources to be upgrading like multiple hunters at the same time, if you're getting your first copy of Woo today, you might not want to, you know, put all your gold into leveling him up and putting all your XP into getting his weapon up next week. But yeah, I know this was a pretty short video, but I thought it was important because investing in like a hunter is a pretty big deal. Because at this point in the game, we really don't have that many resources to be leveling up everyone. Now, personally, I'm gonna level him up because I've got A1. Obviously, we've got a signature weapon coming, and I think he is going to be useful on my account, especially since I don't have another wind unit. So I hope this helped. I mean, just keep everything I said in mind and have a look at your account, see what your account needs, see if you have the resources. And honestly, just see if you like the character. If you read the manga, if you watch the show, I'm not sure if he's appeared in the anime yet, but if he has and you like him, then obviously just level him up. We're actually very close to another 5-star on this banner. If you have any questions, then just ask in the comments, I'd be down to talk. And if there's anything else that you would like me to cover, then just let me know. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it helped. I'll see you later. Bye-bye. So, I just want to put this on the end of the video because I stopped recording and I'm a bit annoyed. I just got another copy of Seijiro from the custom draw. So, just to make anyone jealous, I did just get another copy of Seijiro, which means I have A1. So yeah, A1 Woo and Seijiro. Alright, bye-bye.